Hello, my friends. Good evening. This is Tosif, starting a new live stream. Welcome to my channel. This channel is about social and political issues, both domestic and international. My friends, there's something going on in New York. I'm talking about New York State, and you have to keep your eyes open so you can see it. You have to focus to understand what is going on in New York State. What's happening? Well, let's just do a quick review of some of the political figures who represent the state or various districts in New York. Okay, so the Senate Minority Leader, Chuck Schumer, is from New York. The House Minority Leader, Hakeem Jeffries, is from New York. And one of the most widely known socialist voices in the Democrat Party, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, AOC, is from New York. And some say that she is going to run for president in 2028. I don't know. I'm sure you've heard that too. Too early to tell, but I think she may be heading in that direction. Who knows? We will have to wait and see. So you got Chuck Schumer, powerful senator from New York, Democrat. You got Democrat Hakeem Jeffries, who wants to be the Speaker of the House. He's not. He's not the Speaker of the House. He wants to be. He's the minority leader now from New York. And then Socialist AOC from New York. And then, after a highly publicized New York City mayoral race, a race that not only people all over the United States paid attention to, but really people all over the world, they watched the New York City mayoral race. I mean, it was that big of a race, this mayoral race. Has any other mayoral race been this closely watched, closely observed? I don't know. This New York City mayoral race, Zohran Mamdani enjoyed a massive victory. The months leading up to that election were very interesting. Anyway, it's over, so we're not going to be discussing that. Mamdani is the mayor-elect. He will soon be sworn in officially as the mayor. And what was remarkable, and this is something that we discussed on this channel, Zohran Mamdani also met with President Donald J. Trump in the White House. And I discussed it previously on this channel. I hope you remember that, right? I mean, we got our friends Evelyn from Las Vegas, Nevada. We got Frank from Florida. We got Salerno. And there are others who are watching, but maybe not participating in the live chat. You are all wonderful. So great to see you. Thanks for being here. And if anyone's here for the first time, please make sure you introduce yourself in the live chat. David's here. Hello, David. And so Evelyn remembers exactly what I'm talking about. I discussed both the mayoral race, and I also talked about Mayor-elect Zohran Mamdani's visit to the White House. I mean, that was a press conference I'll never forget. When President Trump sat in the Oval Office, Zohran Mamdani standing right next to the president, and they delivered remarks, they answered reporters' questions. There was a news conference, and it was a news conference that I will never forget. I will never forget. I mean, there are a few things that I will never forget, okay? Okay, and I mean, very, very significant things from history. One that I talk about that I've said before that I'll never forget is when President Trump walked into North Korea. Remember that one? Remember that one? When President Donald J. Trump, he met with North Korea's Kim Jong-un, and President Trump, he took those steps going from South Korea towards North Korea. At the DMZ, President Trump officially entered North Korea. He stepped into North Korea. Remember that? That is one event I will never forget. And there are others. And I'm just adding this to the list. When Mamdani met with Donald J. Trump, that news conference I will never forget. Anyway, that is not my topic today. So I'm going to move forward. And now, the next big election in New York State is coming up. It's the gubernatorial race, the governor's race in New York State. 2026, that's right. You might say, Tausif, it's next year. Right, but do you understand how close to next year we are? In just a matter of days, we will be in the new year, 2026. And months will go by. You're going to enjoy New Year's Eve, you're going to enjoy New Year's Day, and then the week will start. And soon we will be into February. And you'll be excited because we're approaching spring at that point, and then it'll be March. Hopefully it'll stop snowing and it'll start warming up a little bit. Who knows? April, the flowers start blooming. And then May, oh wow, finally we can wear light clothes instead of the heavy outerwear, instead of the heavy jackets and all that. We can start wearing lighter clothes in May. And then June, oh my God, what a beautiful month, June, right? And then July. July is going to be awesome. Independence Day. 250th anniversary of our great country. July, and then it'll be August. And now we're starting to think about fall. You're starting to think about pumpkin spice latte at that point, right? I know a lot of people after the summer they get a little excited about the fall. They want to enjoy their pumpkin spice beverages and all that. So we go into August, September, and then October. Okay, when you're all gonna wish me happy birthday. Hopefully, October. That's my birthday. So in October, you wish me happy birthday, and then the very next month, it's November, the election, the midterm election. The gubernatorial election in New York State, in addition to other races across the country, the House is on the line. The House majority, what's going to happen? The Senate majority, what's going to happen? Other gubernatorial races in other parts of the country, very, very important. And in New York State, the Democrat governor, Kathy Hochul, she's going to be up for re-election. She's going to be on the ballot. And the Republicans will try to defeat her. Kathy Hochul will be on the ballot running for re-election. Think about how lucky she was. I mean, when Governor Cuomo, remember Governor Cuomo? Governor Cuomo, when he had to resign and Kathy Hochul took over, she went from being the lieutenant governor, she became the governor. the state's first female governor. How lucky. What an opportunity it was for Kathy Hochul. Went from being the lieutenant governor to the governor. And Cuomo, what a downfall. What a downfall Cuomo had. Oh my God. We can talk about that. For 1 full hour, we can discuss the political life of Cuomo. And then Cuomo, as we know, he kind of wanted to come back to politics. He wanted to become an office holder again. He ran for mayor. Did not win. He was defeated. He was defeated by Zoran Mamdani. Okay. I don't know if Cuomo is going to run for anything else in the future. Maybe he will. Who knows? Maybe he won't. Anyway. So looking ahead, definitely the Republicans will try to defeat Kathy Hochul. And so there seems to be some hope for the New York Republicans. Some hope because there was ELISE Stefanik, who was in the race. She changed her mind. We're going to talk about that. But ELISE Stefanik, Congresswoman Stefanik, she decided to run for governor, Republican candidate, decided to run for governor in New York State. And then on Friday, she announced that no, she's leaving the race. Breaking news. Breaking news, ELISE Stefanik decided to quit the gubernatorial race in New York State. ELISE Stefanik has exited the race. She is no longer running for governor in 2026. Talk about a crisis. Talk about a crisis. I have no idea. Listen, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to be honest with you as I always have been and as I always will continue to be. I'm going to be honest with you. I have no idea what the Republicans in New York State are doing. I don't know. I understand politics. I'm heavily involved in Wisconsin politics. New York is far, far away. I try to keep track of what's going on there. But I actually have no idea what the New York Republicans are doing. I mean, maybe they are doing something great that I have not been able to figure out. But I'm kind of... First, the New York Republicans did not have a strong candidate for the New York City mayoral race. Okay. Everyone knew that Curtis Sliwa could not win. Okay. Curtis Sliwa could not win. I think we all knew that. Yes, the polls showed that Sliwa was so far behind. Yes, it became very, very obvious that Sliwa, not only would he not win, he would not even secure the second position. It became so clear. And if you are going to be absolutely honest with yourself, you're going to say, from the very beginning, Curtis Sliwa did not have a chance of winning or even having an impact in terms of getting close to victory. No. And I talked about this, okay? I talked about this. Listen, I am a very, very strong Republican. I'm a conservative. Those who know me, you already know this. I don't have to reintroduce myself. But that doesn't mean that I'm not going to criticize, a Republican strategy in a particular jurisdiction or a state if I see that there's something wrong. Okay? The New York Republicans, whatever they did regarding the New York City mayoral race, their strategy was a failure from the very beginning. I mean, I still cannot believe that the New York Republicans could not find a young, energetic candidate. I mean, the Democrats came up with Zoran Mamdani. You can criticize Mamdani all you want. I have done that on this channel. I have spent a lot of time criticizing Zoran Mamdani and his policy positions on this channel. But I'm also going to tell you one thing. The decision that the Democrats made in choosing Zoran Mamdani, it worked for them. It worked. They wanted to secure a victory, and they did. Their candidate won. The Democrats won in the New York City mayoral race. And the Republicans could not even come up with a solid candidate. Now, Curtis Sliwa is a nice guy. I am sure about that, okay? Although I have not met him, but I've read enough, I've researched enough to know that he's a gentleman who people respect. He's a great guy. He wants to serve the public. He's a good man, but you know what? In order to win an election, you need to consider a lot of different things. And the New York Republicans, Curtis Sliwa was their candidate, and it did not work out. It did not work out, and we knew that. So anyway, that's done. What's done is done. Curtis Sliwa could not get anywhere near victory. And I talked about those details previously. I have said it loud and clear that the GOP should have chosen a young, energetic candidate. Anyway, what's done's done. Now let's look at the New York State gubernatorial race. Here's another opportunity to win. Will the New York Republicans be able to do the right thing and have the right candidate and have the right strategy and have the funds and everything to win this gubernatorial race? Well, look what happened. ELISE Stefanik left. ELISE Stefanik left. And we are less than 1 year away from the 2026 gubernatorial election. Less than 1 year. Listen, do the math. The election is in November of 2026. This is December of 2025. And we're approaching the end of December. We're past the midpoint in December. And ELISE Stefanik left. What's going to happen now? Any idea? Is it going to be another race that we, the Republicans, end up losing in New York? I don't know. Anyone from New York here? Anyone from New York watching this? Anyone from New York watching this? Wherever in New York, we're talking about a statewide race. So you could be in Albany, you could be in Rochester, you could be, somewhere on Long Island. You could be in Manhattan, wherever in New York. Are you listening to me? What's going to happen now? Do the New York Republicans have a candidate? A solid candidate to run against Kathy Hochul. Kathy Hochul has all the advantage in this race. We have to accept that reality. She is the incumbent. She's a Democrat, and New York is a blue state. And she's the incumbent, so she has all the advantage. It's going to be an uphill battle for the Republicans. And so the Republicans in New York need to have a very, very strong strategy and the funds for the campaign And the ground game, the door knocking, the literature distribution, the person-to-person contact with the voters, the outreach, everything. And of course, most importantly, a solid candidate. Is there a solid candidate? Is there a solid candidate from the GOP who can run an awesome campaign and defeat Kathy Hochul? I mean, come on, we are running out of time here. As I have said, we're less than 12 months away from the governor's race, the governor's election. It takes a lot of time and energy and strategy to raise funds, to open up campaign offices, and to hire staff, and to recruit volunteers, and to run for office. It is not easy, especially when someone's running for a statewide office in such a populated state like New York. It's not going to be easy. So ELISE Stefanik left. She just decided she's not gonna run. She exited the race, and of course, I have read the statement that she published, and she said that she made the decision to suspend her campaign for governor, and also she's not going to seek re-election to Congress. She said that she did not come to this decision lightly. ELISE Stefanik also wrote that she is truly humbled and grateful for the historic and overwhelming support from Republicans. And, you know, she put out a statement, and I understand that. And I understand she has to do what is right for her and her family. You know, she has to make the best possible decision for her own personal life and you know, for her family. So I get that. If she wants to exit the race, if she doesn't want to run, and if there are strong reasons why she is, you know, why she's making the decision that she's making, you know, I respect that. I understand that. But then immediately after that, I come back and I say, okay, now what do we do? Now what do we do? ELISE Stefanik left. Now what do we do? I understand that she has to put her family first. That's absolutely fine. But you know what? I'll be honest with you. I wish that ELISE Stefanik would have made this decision sooner. Okay? I mean, this really puts us at a disadvantage, us meaning the Republicans. I mean, I'm not a New York voter. I don't live in New York. I'm not a New York voter. So whoever is the governor of New York, it's not going to affect me personally. Okay? But I care about the party. It's my party, the Republican Party. I belong in this party. This is my political party, Republicans. And so I would like to see Republicans winning House races, Senate races, gubernatorial races. And I'm just sad that it's not looking very, you know, optimistic at this point. ELISE Stefanik left. As I said, I wish that she would have made this decision sooner, because every day matters. She made this announcement right before Christmas, during the holiday season. So it's like, at this point, you know, at this point, I don't know what the path forward is. I hear that there's one person running for governor, reportedly, Nassau County Executive Bruce Blakeman. Okay, Bruce Blakeman has jumped into the gubernatorial race. Okay. Anyone know anything about Bruce Blakeman? Any New Yorker here? Any New Yorker here? Kay Cooper from Texas is here. Kay, good to see you. There are others. Good to see our friends here. Sky is asking what changed. I don't know. You're probably asking the question about ELISE Stefanik's decision to exit the race, right? Like what changed? She was running and then suddenly she's not. What changed? I do not know. I do not know. But anyway, Bruce Blakeman has jumped into the race. And the first time I heard Bruce Blakeman's name, I'm sorry, I'm going to be honest with you. I was thinking, okay, who is Bruce Blakeman? Then I find out that he's the Nassau County executive. I mean, that's obviously an important position, not a statewide position. It's not a federal office. It's a local public office, but very important. Obviously, local government is extremely important. But you got to wonder, can Bruce Blakeman defeat Kathy Hochul? I think a lot of people don't know about him. I mean, a lot people know about ELISE Stefanik because she is high profile. She's a very, very high profile politician, very, very important person in Congress. Okay? So she has name recognition, not just in New York, but well beyond New York. Nationally, ELISE Stefanik has a very, very prominent political profile. But Bruce Blakeman, when I heard his name, I had to look him up. I had to read a little bit about him just to get a sense of, okay, who are we talking about? So I understand that Bruce Blakeman is a Trump ally. Okay, that's great. And in terms of being a candidate for a statewide office in 2026, I'm not going to make any prediction, okay? Now, anyone from New York State, if you want to share your thoughts about Bruce Blakeman, if you know anything about him, please feel free to do that, okay? All right, let's see. Okay, so going back to ELISE Stefanik, I am not sure what exactly happened, but ELISE Stefanik made the decision to exit the race, and that's what it'll be, okay? Furthermore, as I mentioned, she is not seeking re-election for her House seat. So is she completely leaving politics? That's my question. Is ELISE Stefanik leaving politics completely? I mean, what's her plan? She's fairly young, so she has to have a plan. What is she going to do after exiting Congress, after exiting the race for New York governor? Now, President Donald J. Trump called both ELISE Stefanik and Bruce Blakeman fantastic people. Okay, that's great. That is great. Okay, if President Trump is saying good things about both ELISE Stefanik and Bruce Blakeman, that's good. But then my question is, should we assume that President Trump will endorse Bruce Blakeman now that ELISE Stefanik has left the race? Or should we wait and see if there will be other candidates jumping in? It could happen. It could happen. There may be other candidates jumping in. I mean, New York State, very, very populated state. And because it's a statewide race, it doesn't have to be a New York City resident. It could be somebody from any part of the state running. So we have to wait and see. But for now, I think Bruce Blakeman is the candidate from the GOP. So let me ask you this. Let me ask you this. Do you think that we, the Republicans, have a chance of winning the governor's race in New York State? Let me know. Let me know your thoughts. Do you feel optimistic if you are a Republican and you're looking at the New York State governor's race? Do you feel optimistic? You know, honestly, I think that after Zohran Mamdani's win, the Republicans in New York State are in a very difficult position. Okay? The Republicans in New York State are in a very difficult position, especially after Zohran Mamdani's win. So I don't know, but as I always say, let's be hopeful, let's be optimistic. But I'm not going to make any prediction. I know some might say it's too early. Yeah, it's too early. Who knows? Maybe there's going to be some superstar candidate from the GOP who jumps in and then it changes the entire dynamics. It changes the nature of the race, and suddenly all attention is on that superstar candidate, whoever that may be. I don't even know if there's going to be somebody else jumping in, but maybe. Who knows? Who knows? We always have to consider the unknown. Maybe some very, very big, wealthy businessman with a successful record in the private sector decides to jump in and say, I'm going to save New York. I'm going to run from the GOP. I'm going to run for governor. Maybe somebody like that will jump in, or maybe not. If not, then is it Bruce Blakeman? All right. We'll see what happens. Share your thoughts with me, my friends. Share your thoughts with me. All right. So looking at 2026, you have to understand what's at stake. 2026. Probably the most important thing that the Republicans are focusing on for 2026 is the United States House of Representatives. We have to grow the majority in the House. I know we're talking about holding on to the majority. I know whenever we talk about the House, the Republicans are saying we have to stay in the majority. We have to win these House races in districts across the country. We have to stay in the majority. And you know what I say? I say we not only have to stay in the majority, we have to grow the size of the majority. We can't simply just stay with the status quo. We have to grow the majority. We have to have a better margin. Tell me if you agree with me. Tell me if you agree with me. We have to grow the House majority. It is essential. Salerno agrees with me, saying, you are absolutely right, Tosif. Thank you, Salerno. James is here supporting voter ID. Absolutely, it's a common sense idea, voter ID. Kay Cooper says TTTT, which means Tosif tells the truth. Thank you so much, Kay. Derek's here. Derek says, yes, Derek, thanks for being here. Thanks for being in agreement. My friends, I am conducting a poll. I'm asking the question, do you think that the Republicans will win the gubernatorial race in New York next year? It's a poll question that I've asked. You can look at the screen and you'll see that question. There are two options, yes and no. You can choose whatever you wish to choose. Yes or no? Do you think that the Republicans will win the gubernatorial race in New York next year, 2026? My friends, we have to grow the size of the majority in the House. We have to grow the size of the Republican majority in the Senate. We got 53 seats now in the Senate. We have to grow it to 55. Is it going to be challenging? Yes, but we can do it. Can we win the Georgia Senate seat? Tell me that. Tell me that. Can we win the seat in Georgia? Okay, let's see. The 2026 United States Senate election in Georgia. Can Jon Ossoff, the Democrat, be defeated? Anyone from Georgia over here? Anyone from Georgia, if you're from Georgia. Now I know earlier in the live stream, I was asking anyone from New York, anyone from New York State. Now I'm asking anyone from Georgia watching this. You know what? I'm looking at some reports here, and I see here that the Georgia Senate race has been rated as a toss-up. As a toss-up, which means it could go either way. It could be Jon Ossoff winning re-election, or it could be the GOP capturing that seat. It's a toss-up. Not leaning right, not leaning left, not leaning red, not leaning blue. It's a toss-up. So my friends, there's a lot on the line in 2026. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens, but I can tell you one thing, that the Republicans in New York State will have to work really hard if they wish to defeat Kathy Hochul, Democrat Kathy Hochul. Tommy Brown's here. Tommy Brown, good to see you. So my friends, I'm probably going to wrap up this live stream now. Just wanted to quickly discuss the New York State gubernatorial race. And I'm going to be doing more live streams, so stay connected, stay tuned. And that's it for now, but I'll be back again very soon, okay? Share with me your thoughts. All right, my friends. Hope to reconnect with you all very soon. And Tommy Brown says, guess I'm late. No, Tommy Brown, you're not too late. We're 41 minutes into the live stream, but I'm just wrapping it up. But I'll be doing more live streams, so I'll be back. Thank you all so very much, my friends. If you want to send me an email, let me give you my email address. It is tausif@tausifanam.net. Send me an email. All right, my friends. Have a good night, and I'll see you soon. God bless you all. Thank you.